guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. But in case this is the first time you are stopping by, my name is Gina and I am a wife and mother from the Midwest, and I enjoy cooking meals for my family, and sometimes I film videos of my recipes and I post them here on YouTube. So today we're going to be making Instant Pot Minestrone soup. I don't know if you say it minestrone or minestrone, I don't know, but that's what we're making. And minestrone soup is delicious. This makes it super easy because you don't have to watch it or stir it. You can just set it and forget it and walk away. This is vegan and vegetarian friendly. It is also friendly on your pocketbook, and it is delicious and perfect for fall. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our ingredients. We're going to be using 2 cups of celery, 2 cups of carrot, and then about a whole onion, which I guess should technically be 2 cups, because if you're making mirepoix, which is carrot, celery, and onion diced, you should be using equal parts, but I just happen to have 2 small halves from when I was cooking earlier, so I'm going to use that. We're going to be using some kale in the end. We're going to be using a can of this Muti Polpa, which I absolutely love this brand of tomatoes. It's slightly more expensive, and by more expensive, I mean like maybe 50 cents top, so it's totally worth it. But these are like super, super delicious, perfect texture of crushed tomatoes, so I'm going to be using those. We're going to need a cup of penne or other small pasta, something that cooks, you know, not super long. We're going to be using a can of garbanzo beans and a can of kidney beans, but you can do any kind of bean combination you like. So if you wanted to use like Great Northern beans or cannellini beans or whatever, that's totally up to you, but 2 cans of beans drained and rinsed. And then lastly, I actually didn't buy any chicken stock, which I usually do, and I have chicken broth that I made homemade and it's frozen, and I don't have time for that right now, so I'm going to be using Nor Suiza, which is basically chicken bouillon, powdered chicken bouillon. And then to season our minestrone soup, we're going to be using like 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, depending on how large they are. Some pepper. I'm going to skip the salt because we're going to be using Nor Suiza, which is notoriously salty, and I will be tasting it at the end and adding salt as needed. I think I already said black pepper, and then you could use Italian seasoning, or you can use a combination of oregano, basil, and thyme, which is basically Italian seasoning. You could put marjoram in there too if you want. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and get these carrots peeled and chopped up our vegetables, and I'll be back in a flash when we're ready to pop everything in the Instant Pot. Alright guys, so I have our diced up carrots, celery, and onion. I threw a little bit of olive oil, which of course I forgot to mention in the ingredients like always. So I threw in a little bit of olive oil, maybe about 2 tablespoons in the bottom of my Instant Pot. And I have it on the saute more function. And I'm just going to go ahead and let this brown off until the onions are translucent. And then right now I'm actually going to add in our chopped garlic. So I've been sauteing that for maybe 3 or 4 minutes already. And now I'm adding in the garlic. And this is why I really love the Instant Pot, is because you can actually cook the raw flavor off of your garlic and onions. And yeah, I know like a lot of people just toss stuff in there and then they go, but I mean, in my opinion, that's what the crock pot is for. But do what you want, peeps. If you want to just toss all the things in there and put it in for however much time, I say that it should be fine too. But also you will find that as you saute things and take the chill off of them, it helps with how fast the Instant Pot comes to pressure. And that's that. So the first thing we're going to do now, after a moment, is start dumping in our water and our tomatoes. So let me go ahead and put this on pause and measure out our water, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have a total of just 4 cups of water here, or you would be substituting this with your vegetable or chicken stock. And normally I would be making this with vegetable stock personally, so this would be vegan. But today I'm using the Nor Suiza, which obviously has chicken products in it. So I think I did mention earlier that this is vegan and vegetarian friendly. But the one that I'm making right now with Nor Suiza is not. So you would have to sub it out for chicken bouillon or vegetable stock. Please keep that in mind. Alright, that was 4 tablespoons, 4 cups of water. Now we're going to add in our polpa, which, look at the texture on this. Like, this is perfect for making a quick marinara and splashing all over your stovetop right now. Like, it is just the most perfect, like, combination of bits and liquid, and it's gorge. Personally, I do not like eating bites of whole canned diced tomatoes. I think that sometimes like the part that you would core, like that little solid part, whatever, where the root end of the vegetable is, I just don't like eating that. So I don't like it. Anyways, moving on. I have also drained and rinsed our 2 cans of beans. So these are nice and clean and ready to go. Gonna dump those in. I am going to try to open this jar with one hand, which I did. And then I'm going to dump it. This is about a cup of pasta. I just want to use the rest of it. And then here's a little side tip. So to store like all of my dry goods that are like left over, I use old glass cans and jars whenever I have them. So I save them and I wash them. And then I just rip the little ingredients off. And then I stick them right in there. So I know how long to cook it. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up. And mind you, this is still on the saute function, so this is still heating up as we go. So I am personally going to be adding in 4 teaspoons of North Suiza, because for every cup of liquid, you add 1 teaspoon. And this is why I'm not adding salt, because this is very salty, this chicken bouillon, so I will taste it at the end. If you are just using Himalayan pink sea salt or sea salt, you would use 2 teaspoons total for the whole dish. So I can put that away. And then let me put you on pause for a second while I go ahead and I get the rest of my ingredients opened up, and then I can start dumping them in. It's just too hard to do it with one hand. Okay, so I have just measured out our herbs and spices. This is just a half a teaspoon of each. Half teaspoon of black pepper, half of basil, half of oregano, and a half of thyme. We're going to dump that in there. And mix everything up. And at this point, I would like to mention that you can totally add in red chili flake at this point. So like half of a teaspoon is a good place to start. You could do less if you wanted to. And then let me put you on pause for a moment. I have to go ahead and check on something before I get this set. Yeah. Alright guys, I was right. I forgot. I use a whole container of chicken stock, meaning 4 cups, and then I also add 2 cups of water. I was looking at this and this just didn't look like enough liquid, so I needed to cross-reference my cookbook. So anyways, I'm adding an additional 2 cups of water, totaling an amount of 6 cups of liquid. So I needed to mention that. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Put the lid to the sealing position, and we are going to be selecting soup. Well, first we have to hit cancel. Then we're going to be selecting soup broth, and then that is not the right setting. We need 10 minutes, so I'm just going to go ahead and lower this. And then once this comes to pressure, we're going to let it cook for 10 minutes, and then we are going to manual pressure release it because it'll be done. And then we'll pop the kale in before serving. So I'll be back when this is done. Okie doke, so our 10 minutes is up. I went ahead and cleaned up the kitchen while this was cooking. So now basically all I gotta do is pop some dishes or some bowls in the dishwasher, so that's awesome. So this is done. Everything is cooked. The pasta is cooked. The carrots are tender, and we are just ready to toss in our kale. So I am putting in this much kale, which I would say is like 3 cups-ish, but you could put more or less, or you could skip it, or you could put parsley. Or you could do whatever you want because it's going to be your recipe. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss this in. This soup is also really good with some zucchini in there. But I've never tried it in the Instant Pot. So I've only done that when I do it stovetop because zucchini is such a finicky vegetable to cook. Because it cooks so fast. So I don't know if it would last 10 minutes in the Instant Pot. And I don't think that it would cook fast enough to just put it in now. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some fruit for the girls. And then this is just going to wilt in here with the lid on for maybe about 5 minutes. And then we're going to serve it up.
Looks like now.
Alright guys, I almost forgot to finish filming my final shot here. So this is what it looks like. It is I always serve it with Parmesan cheese, whether it be grated Parmesan cheese or fresh Parmesan cheese, English, or whatever you want. It's really good. And Daniel is not here for dinner again because he's going to work. So you're just going to have to trust me that it is good. And I'm serving it with some nice crusty bread. And I hope you give this a try. It's super good. Yeah, they know that they don't ever eat it.
It's good. It's good.
The girls say it's good, so you should trust them because they're totally eating it. They're not eating waffles at all. Anyways, thanks for stopping by my channel. I appreciate you watching my video. If you liked it, I appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up. And if you loved it, go ahead and subscribe. I totally get a kick out of watching my subscribers go up. And I'm just really flattered that you guys watched my little video. So thanks again for stopping by and have a great day.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.